we are doing more of a serious kind of thing. We're doing a story time about me, and why you shouldn't do these things and what can happen from these things. So, we're gonna go back to January 4th, 2021. This was like 4 months ago or so. I just had a lot of things going on in life. I thought it was the worst thing ever, and I thought it was never ever gonna get better. And so I thought it'd be a great idea to take 15 Benadryls. I was like, it's not even gonna do anything. I'll be fine. I did it, and about an hour and a half later, like, I was paranoid after I did it. I was like, oh crap, what did I just do? Like, I was like I wanted to, but then after I did it, I was like, what did I just do? And so I asked my dad if I could make brownies. And he's like, yeah, no side effects had happened, nothing had showed. I was completely fine. And then I was making brownies. I was in the kitchen, no one was in the kitchen with me. And I almost like passed out, like I caught myself on the counter. I was like, oh crap. And I started feeling super duper dizzy. I couldn't see straight. Like, my phone was right here. I couldn't read anything people were texting me. It was super scary. I was super shaky. Like, I was just like that. I was super shaky. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So I went upstairs. Well, on the way upstairs, I fell up the stairs like 3 times. And I was like, this isn't good. So I went in my room, and I was laying on my bed, and I was like, I need to do something. And I thought it'd be a good idea to take a warm bath. That only made it 10 times worse because it sped up the blood flow, and I wasn't thinking at the point. So yeah, and then I went back to my room, and I literally could not stay awake because Benadryl makes you tired. So I couldn't stay awake, and I tried so hard. It got to the point where I was like, I have to tell someone. It's getting really, really bad, and I was actually scared. So anyone who wants to overdose, commit suicide, anything like that, just know, like, you want to do it, but then when you actually do it, it's very, very scary. So I was like, holy crap, I have to tell someone. So I FaceTimed my best friend, and it was so bad that while I was on FaceTime, I don't even remember talking to her. Like, I would forget she was on FaceTime. I was like, I need to text her.
Hey Kiera, it's me. You can't do this, Kiera. You need to stay alive. You have so much to live for. You can't kill yourself. The poison control lady, just so you know, because we call it poison control, because we're like that. The poison control people, they said that you need to go to the ER because it can cause abdominal bleeding, and it can cause, what did they say? Abdominal bleeding? You don't breathe. You can die. You can't die. It can cause an airway thing where you can't breathe. So Kiera, don't go to sleep. I hope you're not going to sleep. I hope you're not trying to sleep right now. Kiera, don't go to sleep. Just tell Jody. Wake up, Jody. I'm sorry. I know you don't want to wake up, Jody, but please, if you hear this message, please, yeah, go to the doctor. Okay. We're trying to talk to Barbara right now too because we're just classy like that. I don't know, but I love you. Stay alive.
So that's Jana, my best friend in the whole world, and I just want to say thank you to her for doing everything that she did while that was going on. And as you can tell in that little recording, she was scared to death, and she was trying to do everything she could just to get me help. And y'all are so lucky if you have friends like that. So yeah, that's another reason not to, because people are scared to death for you. Thank you so much, Jana. I love you more than anything. You pretty much saved my life that night. So I'm over here like this, trying to text her. I don't even know how clear it was. And I was like, holy crap. So I texted her and I was like, I just took 15 Benadryl because I didn't want her mom to hear it at first. And so she's like, I was like, okay, you can tell your mom. And they tried calling my mom, and well, Jody and my dad, and they weren't answering. Like they were sleeping or something, or they just weren't on their phone. So I texted him, and I guess he saw it, and I was like, and I thought it was ibuprofen at the time, but it wasn't. So I said I took 15 ibuprofens, and he's like, no, you didn't. And I was like, yes, I did. So he came into my room, and they both came like running in, and they were like, why would you do that? And I was just like, I don't really know, and I didn't know what was going on. So they took me to the bathroom, and they kept telling me to puke, and I wouldn't do it because puking, I have like a phobia of it, so I like wouldn't puke. And so they said we're going to the ER, and I started crying, and I said I didn't want to go. They told me to like puke 4 times, and each time they told me I would forget that they told me, and it was like they told me for the first time. So they took me to the car. Well, I walked to the car, and I couldn't really, it was kind of hard. Like walking felt really weird. So I got in the car, and they rushed me to the ER. I didn't remember going there. Like we got there so fast. It felt like, I mean, he was kind of going fast, but he didn't know what was going to happen. And so we got there, and I sat in the waiting room for like probably 5 minutes. I don't know. And then they took me back in the room, and they're asking me all these questions like, why did you do it? Were you trying to kill yourself? Are you suicidal? Are things at home okay? And I was answering these questions the best I could because I didn't really know what was happening. And so then they put an IV in my arm, and they put fluids in me. And I remember just trying to sit on the bed and stay awake because I didn't know what was going to happen if I went to sleep. And so I was sitting there, and there was IVs in my arm, and they had those EKGs all over me. And I guess while laying there, my heart rate dropped a lot, and then also was going super duper fast. So that's bad. And then I was just sitting there, and the guy was like, okay, you can rest or go to sleep. No, we got there at like 8 o'clock, and we left, like 8, and we left at 12, and I had school the next day. Anyways, so he's like, you can go to sleep. So I tried to go to sleep, but the little beepy thing kept going off in my head, so I still have that in my head. Like, I can just imagine that night, beep, beep. Sorry, the AC came on. Like, beep. And it was super annoying, but then I finally fell asleep. But then not only the beep thing, there was a kid screaming, and I had to lay on my back. I couldn't lay on my side or anything because I had a bunch of wires and stuff hooked up to me. So I finally fell asleep. I don't know how long I fell asleep, and it was very light sleeping. And then I woke up having to pee so bad because all the fluids. Like, I really was going to pee my pants, and no one was in the room. My dad went to go get food. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pee my pants. So finally he came back and went and got someone. I went and peed, and then they checked on all my things and like stuff, and the fluid had got done going into me, I guess. And so we were in there for about 15 more minutes, and then I left, and then I went home. So yeah, and that bill was very, very, very expensive. It was a very, very scary experience, not only for me, but for my family. And anyone that knows this story gets really upset and scared. So I would recommend don't ever, ever, ever do something like that. If you have problems, if you're going through anything, you feel like life is just beating you down, you feel like it's never going to get better, you have to do something. You don't have to do it, I promise. Life is going to get better. My life has been so much better. I actually didn't have a phone for 2 months, and that did help a lot. I am much happier now. I feel so much better. So please talk to anyone. Don't do that. It's not worth it. And y'all are all amazing and wonderful just the way you are. Don't change yourself for anyone. And I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next video. This video wasn't to trigger anyone, make anyone feel uncomfortable, or anything like that. I was just telling my point of view and how it felt, and hopefully so people won't do it. It is actually a very, very, very terrible thing to do, and I would never recommend doing that. If anyone tells you to do it, never listen to them. Please get help if you ever have any issues. And I will put the hotline, suicide hotline here, and the poison control number here. So if anything does ever happen, please, please, please get help. Y'all are all amazing and perfect. Please stay tuned for the next video.